What happens when one legend speaks about the man who could inherit his throne? Rafael Nadal, the king of clay and one of the greatest tennis players in history, has just spoken out about Carlos Alcaraz's meteoric rise. But what he said wasn't just praise. It was a mix of admiration, caution, and even a hint of warning. And believe me, Nadal's words have sent shockwaves through the tennis world. Because when the master addresses his potential successor, every syllable matters. So, what exactly did Nadal say about Alcaraz? And why is it sparking so much debate? Let's dive in. Spain has produced two of the most electrifying players tennis has ever seen. Rafael Nadal, a 22-time Grand Slam champion, has dominated the sport for nearly 2 decades. And now, Carlos Alcaraz, at just 22 years old, is rewriting what we thought was possible for the next generation. The connection between them isn't just about nationality, it's about legacy. Nadal's dominance on clay, his relentless fighting spirit, and his humility have defined Spanish tennis for years. But Alcaraz has brought something new: explosive power, fearless shot-making, and a joy for the game that feels fresh and contagious. And as Nadal battles the final chapters of his career, fans are asking, is Alcaraz the true heir? Recently, Nadal gave a rare and surprisingly candid interview about Alcaraz. His comments weren't the typical generic praise. Instead, they revealed both deep respect and a realistic perspective on what it takes to carry the weight of expectations. But what did Nadal really mean? Let's break it down. Nadal started by acknowledging the obvious. Alcaraz's rise has been nothing short of spectacular. In just 3 years, he went from promising teenager to world number 1, winning the 2022 US Open and then the 2023 Wimbledon title by defeating Novak Djokovic in an epic 5-set final. Nadal pointed out something important. He said, "Carlos has achieved things at his age that I never imagined when I was 20." Think about that. This is Nadal, who won his first French Open at 19, admitting Alcaraz is ahead of his own curve. But it's not just the titles, it's the style. Nadal emphasized how Alcaraz blends power and creativity, something rare in today's baseline-dominated game. He can serve at 135 miles per hour, then hit a delicate drop shot on the very next point. He's fearless, unpredictable, and aggressive in ways that even Djokovic and Federer admit are difficult to counter. Still, Nadal inserted a dose of reality. He warned that maintaining this level is the true challenge. Consistency, mental focus, and surviving the grind of a long career, these are the mountains Alcaraz still has to climb. And Nadal knows better than anyone. Talent alone is never enough. If Alcaraz is ahead of Nadal's pace at 20, could he actually surpass Rafa's records? Here's where Nadal surprised many. He didn't just talk about Alcaraz's game, he talked about the pressure. Nadal explained that what makes champions isn't just forehands and trophies, it's handling the constant weight of being expected to win. Nadal knows this firsthand. From the moment he won Roland Garros as a teenager, the world expected him to dominate. And for almost 2 decades, he delivered. But the price was enormous. Physical pain, media scrutiny, and the mental strain of always being the favorite. For Alcaraz, Nadal said, "The challenge will be not burning out. He has the game, he has the talent, but he will need to balance the passion with patience," Nadal remarked. That's a powerful line. Nadal is reminding us that careers aren't sprints, they're marathons. Think about it. The pressure on Alcaraz right now is enormous. He's already being labeled the next Nadal, the next Djokovic, even the next Federer. But Nadal hinted that Carlos must find his own identity. He must be Alcaraz, not just the heir. Nadal isn't just praising Alcaraz, he's almost mentoring him publicly. But what's the deeper message behind his advice? Nadal also touched on something emotional. For years, he has carried Spanish tennis on his back. Every Davis Cup, every Grand Slam, every battle against Federer and Djokovic, he was Spain's warrior. Now, with his injuries mounting and retirement looming, he sees Alcaraz as the one to carry the torch. He admitted, "Spain is lucky to have Carlos. He brings hope for the future." That's more than just a compliment. It's a passing of the flame. But Nadal added something revealing. He said Spanish tennis cannot depend on one player. There must be a system, a culture that supports new champions. In other words, Even as he blesses Alcaraz's rise, Nadal is reminding everyone, one player alone cannot replace an entire era. This is where emotion seeps in. Nadal has always been more than a champion. He's been a role model, a leader. And now, he's urging Spain and the world to support Alcaraz without suffocating him. But Nadal isn't the only legend weighing in. Other greats have already spoken about Alcaraz. And what they say might surprise you even more. Roger Federer, Nadal's greatest rival and closest friend, recently said, "Alcaraz has the most complete game I've seen at his age." Coming from Federer, that's monumental. Andy Roddick, who knows what it's like to face Nadal and Federer in their prime, said, "Carlos plays like he's been on tour for 15 years. It's scary how good he already is." And John McEnroe, never one to sugarcoat, declared, "Alcaraz is the best thing to happen to tennis in the last decade, period." But here's the twist. All these legends are praising Alcaraz, but Nadal is the only one mixing praise with caution, and that makes his words stand out even more. Because Nadal isn't just giving compliments, he's giving wisdom. So what's the final takeaway? Is Nadal crowning Alcaraz the new king, or warning him about the crown's heavy weight? So what do Nadal's surprising words really mean? On the surface, it's admiration. Nadal respects what Alcaraz has achieved and believes he's the future of Spanish tennis. But beneath the surface, it's a warning. Success is not just about winning early, it's about lasting. For Alcaraz, the message is clear. Enjoy the rise, but prepare for the storm. Nadal knows the cost of greatness, and now he's passing that wisdom to the next generation. The big question is, will Alcaraz listen? And can he handle the pressure of being not just Spain's hope, but tennis's next global superstar? Stay tuned, because in our next video, we'll break down the inside story of Novak Djokovic's rivalry with Alcaraz and why it could define the future of tennis for the next decade.